Hey travelers, Mag and I here on day 84 of our trip around the United States. This morning we're kicking our day off here in the Jacobson Wayside Rest area, right on the banks of the Mississippi River, and it is a beautiful view and a great way to start the day. Today is actually a severe miscalculation day, and so we had to stop last night and really assess the schedule and determine what we were going to do with it. Our original plan today was to do the Minnesota State Star. It is a geoart that is put on the map in the shape of a star. There are 50 caches forming the shape of the star and one in the center. I had miscalculated today because I put the plan for today to do the Minnesota State Star, and then I even included a note that said I'd solved it like I'd done with the other state stars that were along the route. Turns out I hadn't. I clued into that last night as I was approaching the end of the day. I looked at the map just to kind of see what we were going to get to do tomorrow, and I saw the state star in the shape of the star on my map, and that's not right. When the coordinates for puzzles are solved, they should be at their actual location on the map. So seeing the star in the shape of a star was a sign to me that something was wrong. So then I dug a little deeper and realized that the caches that I had looked at were the easy caches in this series. The rest of the series are all very difficult to solve puzzles. And if any of you know me very well, you know I'm not a puzzle solver. That's something I lean on my geo friends for. We looked at the other options around and decided that we were just going to skip the state star altogether. We were never going to be able to complete the geoart anyway. We have completed the ones in Mississippi, Florida, Georgia, Alaska, and Texas, and we had a great time with those, especially the one in Alaska, because that is a great hiking trail along the Turnagain Arm, and it is beautiful all day long. The terrain's a little tough, but hey, at least they're laid out in a straight line along the trail, and that makes it a little more manageable. We got a late start this morning, but we are still way ahead of schedule because we had the whole day committed to the State Star. What we're going to do from here is we're going to push through the miles for today, and I imagine we'll be finished within the next few hours. From there, we're going to start right into the miles of tomorrow, and I expect we'll at least make it to the west side of the state in Morehead City. I'm not sure where we're going to get today exactly, but what I do know beyond the shadow of a doubt is we are going to end up far ahead of where our schedule was because we had the whole day dedicated to something that's just not going to happen because I'm a bit of a bonehead every now and then. Very excited to see where we get today and very excited to see what we see along the way. So why don't you come along with us and we'll check it out together. Let's go.
As luck would have it, the first part of our day turned out pretty wacky indeed, with a whole lot of great geocache finds along the way. And since the dog and I had just shared a box of Chester's fried chicken for dinner last night, it really made us laugh that this was the first geocache to start our morning off with.
Now, I normally will not play with a train or a tank. If I see a tank, I see a train, I might stop and take some videos or some photos, and then I just move on. The only exception to that is if it's listed as a regular, because I'm not going to be crawling around one of these looking for a nano or a magnetic key holder. I've done that too many times, no fun for me. This one, however, is listed as a regular. So a regular train cache, yeah, we'll play with those. Let's see if we can find this. Oh, and there we have it. Now this I'm okay with. This is a good train cache. It's a little bit thick in here. We'll bushwhack our way through. See if we can spot a camouflaged container sitting by the base of a tree. Just what we were looking for. These fall colors are really just starting to come in out here, and this is beautiful. This is not something you get to see in Florida. It's green in the spring, green in the summer, and in the fall, it's still green. And then in the winter, yep, it's still green. So these yellows and these reds, these are phenomenal. And I'm hoping over the next few days, we'll get to see even deeper of these colors as it progresses.
Some of the trees are already much farther along than the others, and the hues that are coming out are splendid.
What's that you say? A lamp skirt in the middle of the woods? Well, I guess so. That's not usually where this goes.
This large container chained to the pole is unmistakable as anything but a geocache. All that space and so little inside though. So we know that we're really close to this one, but which one of these objects could it be?
Alright, these two are actually running legitimate power. Well, this one, on the other hand, isn't connected to anything. As we talked about yesterday, there's a Munzie right there. That's all I need to see. And there we have it. This is the last geocache I need to find to complete the route for today. It's 1:30 in the afternoon, so let's see how far we can make it into tomorrow's route.
Our day became very scenic after that, starting with a stop at the Detroit Lake Scenic Overlook. Not only did this spot feature an earth cache that taught us a little bit more about the formation of the big Detroit Lake, but it also included a lot of beautiful flowers and a great viewpoint looking out over the water. Our last stop of the day is where we finally got to get the dog her hiking time at Buffalo River State Park. This is a unique combination of a prairie bisected by woodlands on the banks of the Buffalo River. The Department of Natural Resources and the adjacent Blue Stem Prairie Scientific and Natural Area work together to protect one of the largest and highest quality prairie remnants in Minnesota here. It is a really cool place for a hike because the trail constantly weaves between the prairies and then back into the woods and out again. Once you've gone far enough along the trail, you'll reach the banks of the Buffalo River. Combined with the yellowing of the fall leaves, we could not get enough of how beautiful the trails in this state park were. There are more than 250 species of wildflowers and grasses that have been cataloged in the park. Some of the more rare species include the small white lady's slipper, plains reedgrass, blanket flower, and the endangered western prairie fringed orchid. The gallery forest is characterized by trees like elms, ash, cottonwood, oaks, and basswood. Along the drier soils of the riverbank, you can also find bur oaks, willows, aspens, and box elders. It's such an interesting contrast to come out of the woodland on one side of the bridge and then cross to the other side to look out on a vast prairie grassland. From there, it was just a short way to our actual goal in the park, a geocache that was hidden back in September of 2001. It is not an easy one to get to, however. You have to push into thickly dense woods that are filled with thorns in every direction. This is one of those many times where I'm very glad to be geared up, because my gloves, pants, and shirt protected me for the most part. And it was all worthwhile to reach the treasure box at the end of the road. You've always got to appreciate it when you can find a geocache that's this large. The smaller container on the right contains the remnants of the original logbooks, while the container on the left is a fresher, newer container with a new logbook inside.
And that is the end to another great day out on the road geocaching. We actually made it a little bit further than I thought today. We're shooting here from Hallstatt at the site of the world's largest beet. You really can't beat that as a shooting site now, can you? This is as far west in Minnesota as we're going to make it until we swing back around for our final zag and make our way back out of the state in a few days. It seemed like an appropriate place for us to be able to end our day, especially considering we have the world's largest of something, which is always a win in my book. Today did not go the way we thought it would when we did this initial plan, but it all worked out for the best in the end. I think that it was a good thing that we skipped the Minnesota State Star. Number one, I don't think I'm capable of solving the puzzles for it. Number two, I know that terrain would have been too much for the dog. And number three, it gave us a little bit of a lead time leading up into our run to Duluth. Our original plan only called for half of an admin day in Duluth, but with the schedule we're running right now, it looks like we're going to get one full admin day. And to be perfectly honest, we could really use that time to ensure we get all of our stuff wrapped up before we get back on the road to finish Minnesota. It's been a great day out here geocaching, and I didn't really know what to expect from today since we went a little off plan to make it happen. What we ended up getting today were two things in spades. We got a lot of fall colors. The scenery was very beautiful with the red and yellow leaves everywhere we're going. We're really hoping to see a lot more of that in the next few days. And we got a lot of really cool geocaches. Whereas yesterday we were doing a lot of micro park grabs hidden in signposts, today most of the geocaches we found were regular sized geocaches. A lot of ammo cans, a lot of geocaches with good stealth jobs, and just a lot of fun hides in general. So it turned out to be a pretty darn good day. Again, just because that sun's going down doesn't mean our geocaching day is coming to an end. We've still got a few more hours to go before we call it quits. We're gonna follow the interstate going east, and when we get to a good point to call it a night, that's what we're gonna call it. So we'll see where we start the day tomorrow. I hope you enjoyed getting to see all the fall colors with us today, and I hope you enjoyed getting to see all those really cool geocaches as well. Like this video, subscribe to stay tuned for daily updates, and we'll see you out on the trails.